is radio, like its close family member television, knows it's on the right track when two groups are happy with what they're doing: the audience and the sponsor. The advertising dollar is sought out today as it's never been before. Costs are high, and for a radio station to succeed, its best friend next to its listeners has to be the man who makes commercial radio possible, the advertiser. But it's always been that way. What the angel is to theatre and the voter to our politicians, commercial radio has always had a love-hate relationship with the man who foots the bill. 3DB's history is rich with wonderful advertising success stories, but probably the greatest story of them all concerns the Burke Street optician who took a chance with the relatively new medium of radio and began a 30-year association that became more than simply sponsor and show. It became a Melbourne institution. The C&G Minstrels.
Presenting the Minstrels. With rattling bones and tambourines, the Minstrel Boys are evergreen.
This is the Minstrel Show. Yes, we are glad to bring the Minstrel Show. We'll hear the music on the pipe, the drums, and old and old. And Mr. Solo, and Mr. Logan, this is the Minstrel Show. We bring you joy and laughter while our friends play. That's what the minstrels are here for. We'll bring you good cheer for the good old Minstrel Show.
Gentlemen, be seated. For a merry start to a merry show, let's sing along with the Minstrel Singers.
Stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
Earl Coles and Frank Garrard opened their optical firm Coles and Garrard back in the 1920s. Frank Garrard later died on a ship on his way to England. His partner Earl Coles realized that to have a successful business, people had to know about it, and he showed the insight of sponsoring the legendary 3DB program, the C&G Minstrels, heard for more than 30 years on Thursday nights at 7:30. The original stars were those aforementioned pioneers, Ren Miller and Charlie Board, and throughout its life it boasted 3DB stars that were already household names, with the C&G Minstrels offering them yet another opportunity to display their talents. Among the many producers of the show were John May, the late Mike Dyer, one of radio's greatest showmen, Leslie Ross, and an Englishman who joined 3DB in the early 50s, and who to many radio devotees even today is one of the best voices the station has ever had.
3DB Melbourne and 3LK Central Victoria, the Herald Sun stations.
That was the announcing voice of Peter Surrey, and like everybody else at the station, it wasn't enough to specialize in one thing. Versatility was the name of the game, and among Peter's many duties was a stint as producer of the C&G Minstrels, and also for a time as its compere. And it remains as one of Peter's happiest memories of the station.
It was a wonderful program. It had all the gaiety about it. It had all the tunes and things, and most of all, it was live music, and it came through. It made you laugh.
I've got sixpence, jolly, jolly sixpence. I've got sixpence to last me all my life. I've got tuppence to spend and tuppence to lend and tuppence to send home to my wife.
For thousands of people listening at this moment, this is an era long gone. But it wasn't only the singers and the songs they sang. The cast of the show became family friends.
It had all sorts of people in it. You remember Bones? Bones was Dick Cranman, of course.
Yeah, I was having trouble with that daughter of mine again.
What is it this time?
Well, I told her she wasn't to go to the dance at the local hall last night, but she went just the same.
Oh, that's bad.
Yes, sir, and you know, this morning when she came down to breakfast, I said to her, "Good morning, daughter of Satan."
And what did she say?
"Good morning, Father."
And then there was Mark Sutherland. Mark Sutherland played the banjo, and he had a most terrific offbeat. It was really marvellous. And then, of course, there was that wonderful veteran performer, Colin Crane. That man could sing a Negro song like nobody else that I know. He really threw everything into it. It was just steam radio in those days, Bert, but it was simply marvelous the way that man could emote without the need for any pictures at all. It all came out through his voice. He was so warm and wonderful.
Oh, dusty shoes, we'll be in line again, but not for bread. No, sir, having a good time again, with a dime to spend for the shine again. You're dusty, dusty shoes.
Lovely, Mr. Snowball, beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Colin Crane, and there were so many more people to thank. Those who helped make the C&G Minstrels what it was. A program that for more than 30 years made you feel better for having listened, and in the rough times, helped you get through. Every Thursday night when the final theme was sung, countless thousands of people regretted that it was going to be another 7 days before they'd feel that way again.
We're glad we brought you the minstrel show.
In tonight's presentation of the Minstrels, you heard Dick Cranbourne, Colin Crane, Perry Phillips, Hank McClellan, John Oldham, the Minstrel Quartet, Mervyn Bray, Keith Nielsen, William Smith, and Kevin Casey, Joseph Williams, Alan McCaskill, Max Pell, Fred King, Sam Dunn, Jack Dorney, this is Peter Surrey, and producer Leslie Ross.
The minstrels are here for to bring you good cheer for the good old minstrel show.
And to our sick friends in hospital, we wish you a speedy recovery, and may God bless you all.